You know what, guys? Wherever I look, I see different faces of aspiring candidates. Those individuals who promise to open a path towards a better nation and who may one day become the foundation of our legislation. But here's the big question. Who will you give your vote to? Well, let's not forget that our vote is a powerful tool. It is something that we should yield properly. That's why we need to make sure that the candidates we're rooting for are actually deserving of that position. This year, there are 66 senatorial candidates, right? And you can only choose 12. And let's be honest, we already have our bets. But beyond popularity and promises, we must look deeper into their track records, their platforms, and their true intentions. As for me, I've already thought about who I am voting for. In fact, three names immediately come to my mind. Can you guess who they are? Alright, let me give you some clues. When I was in elementary school, I used to fear going to college. Not because of the classes or the pressure, but because of the cost. Yes, the cost. I came from a household where finances were always a struggle. So, the idea of paying tuition fees felt like an impossible dream for me. But then, things changed because of him. Actually, more than 2 million students, including me, didn't have to pay tuition or other school fees. We went from tuition fee to tuition free. And that's all thanks to Mr. Paulo Benigno Bam Aquino IV. So recently, the CLSU Collegian released the results of the midterm mock elections and Mr. Bam is in the lead. That makes me so proud. It makes me so proud actually because it shows that CLSU once believed in his unwavering support for education, right? And his commitment to empowering the youth. So from serving as chairman of the National Youth Commission in 2003 to 2006 and to his time in the Senate from 2013 to 2019, Mr. Bam already proven himself. That's why we need to bring Bam back to the Senate for education and for a better future. Alright, now moving on to the second name on my list. But before that, let me ask you a question again. Do you eat rice? Of course you do. We all do. We all eat rice, right? Because we Filipinos, as a Filipinos, a meal doesn't feel complete without it, right? Because rice is life. That's why I believe we must support agriculture, especially our rice farmers. Because they are the ones who work under the sun, so we can have food on the table. And you know what, guys? In line with that, I would like to share to you in 2019, Mr. Kiko Pangilinan authored and sponsored the Sagip Saka Act. So what is Sagip Saka Act? That act empowers farmers and fishermen by allowing them to sell their harvest directly to the government. So it cut out the middleman or the negotiator. So they sell it directly and this gives them better income and better control. And speaking of farmers, I must also highlight Sir Danilo Ramos. Si Sir Danilo Ramos, he's an activist and a passionate voice for farmers' rights. And in my opinion, someone like him, we should strongly consider him for the Senate. Okay, in line with that, let's talk about the rice tariffication law for a moment. Personally, I'm not in favor of that policy. Yes, it makes rice cheaper for consumers, but it does so at the expense of our small-scale farmers who are also struggling to compete with cheap imported rice. So ayun nga, in a News 5 interview called Aplicante, Sir Danilo advocated for strengthening the local production instead of relying on importation. And that's exactly what we need because this law, as it stands, is increasing income poverty, especially among those who work hardest to feed us, right? And that's why Sir Danilo is in my top 12. So, I would like to end this speech that when we cast our votes, let's not treat it like a routine. Let's remember we're not just choosing names. We're choosing leaders. We're choosing the future of our country. We're choosing those who will shape our country. My support for Sir Bam, Sir Kiko, and Sir Danilo is rooted in their shared commitment to education, to agriculture, and to the welfare of ordinary Filipinos. They are the kinds of leaders we need. The leaders who will uplift the marginalized, who will empower the youth, who will fight for long-term sustainable progress. So, before we shade that circle on the ballot, let's ask ourselves first, who will truly represent our voice, our struggles, and of course, our hopes for a better tomorrow.